Hello everyone, we are back. I am Chase here with Christian, your RMFantasy SXperts. Houston.
Wild race.
Wild race.
The season is shook up.
Barsh is here to stay, so is Pike. But we got a lot to talk about. Anderson claims his first win.
Roxanne crashes out.
Yeah, he's out. So a lot to talk about. And Anaheim 2 coming up this weekend. First Triple Crown format. So do not worry, we're going to talk a lot about that. But before we dive into it, let's get it on with a race recap. All right, so Houston, it is done.
I mean, a lot of headlines. What do you talk about first?
Well, first let's talk about who finished where. So if you guys didn't see the races, you will see now. Mr. Jason Anderson claims his first win. Congrats to him. Ken Roczen still holding it down strong in second place.
Barsha's third place in a row.
He's here to stay.
I mean, he gets a win this race. He could spark Barshal law.
Barshal.
We could be living under that
Where'd
soon.
you come up with these names?
I mean, he's out of control.
Barshal. All right. Cole Seeley, fourth place. Congrats to Cole. He moved up. And again, Mr. Weston Pike, proven he is a top 5 candidate every week. I think he's here to stay too. And maybe a shocker for some, for me, not so much. Cooper Webb.
People talking top 5s, and he's...
Well, he had a really bad start.
Yeah, he was last off the start, that's for sure.
I think he broke his clutch lever, so it was just a rough start for him. But those are your top 5, including the wild card. Now, let's talk about some points. What do we got?
The average score was almost 31 points, so up about 6 or 7 points from week 1. No perfect scores yet, so we still haven't seen one this season.
Okay.
But 12 people did get 5 out of 6 right.
Oh, man.
341 got 4 picks right, so it was a pretty good week. And we were about the same. You got 34 points, I got 38. But
not bad.
The cool thing from Houston, 3 of the riders placed exactly where they qualified, so watch qualifying.
So Anderson, Roczen, and Barsha, your top 3, right?
It was Anderson, Roczen, and Seeley.
Oh, Seeley. So these 3 qualified and finished exactly where they started.
And tinfoil hats. Barsha and Pike both finished 6 spots ahead of where they qualified. Kind of weird.
Interesting.
We'll get into some strange things from Houston.
We will. Well, there you go. That is our race recap. And this weekend, going into Anaheim 2. But before we talk about the Triple Crown format, we got to do an episode that Christian wants to call Strange Things. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So Christian here, your stats man, he wears a tinfoil hat, I think, most of the time he's doing this stuff.
In a lot of ways, yeah.
So Christian, he's got what he likes to call strange things. What do you got, Christian?
After looking over the results from the first 2 rounds this season, we found some strange things.
Okay.
We got 5 riders who have taken the same position in both races.
Really?
Barsha 3-3, Pike 5-5, Tickle 8-8, Grant 9-9, and Freezy 13-13. So they're pretty much staying in that range. I think that's what all this proves here.
Okay.
And of all the riders that have raced both races, there's 7 riders that have finished only 1 spot different in between both races, like Anderson 2-1, Brayton 7th and 6th, but then Martin, Reed, Ray, Tedder, Entignap.
So 7 riders have done that.
Have finished within 1 spot different. And then 5 riders have finished within 2 spots different. So there's really not a big range right now. It seems like everybody is where they are. And then the weirdest thing of all of it is Blake Baggett's the only rider that's raced both rounds that's finished, has a bigger difference than 2 of his both finishes of 12th in round 1 and then 7th in Houston.
That is interesting.
It looks like everybody's found their spot. I don't know. It could get shook up, but that's the stats.
Hey, you know what? And the stats don't lie.
They don't lie.
That is fact. So if you guys are having some problem with your picks, you want to know, that's some good information right there.
Well, another one thing real quick.
What's up?
11 riders have average finish 2 or less spots difference than where they're qualifying this season. So like Anderson, his average qualifying is 2.5. His average finish is 1.5. So there's riders that stick really close to their qualifying so far, and those are the riders. Make sure you check their qualifying, like Anderson, Roczen, Brayton, Webb, Freezy, Tedder, Seeley, Tickle, Baggett, LeMay, and Stewart in his 1 round.
We talk about it. Watch qualifying. All right, so that is a tinfoil hat segment, or strange things, as Christian wants to call it. So next up, we got a big segment because we're going to be talking about Anaheim 2. It's our track trends because this week, folks, it is a Triple Crown format. And we're going to talk exactly what that means. And also, we've got the 7 Deuce Deuce. Adam's calling in again. He's going to give us some insight as far as what he and other riders think about it, who we think is going to benefit. So sit tight because here it is. This is a track trend. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for this week, Anaheim 2, and it is a Triple Crown format. Now, what this means is 3 main events, okay? And it's going to be an 8, a 12, and a 15-minute race.
Plus 1 lap.
Plus 1 lap, that is correct. So with this weekend, it's going to be an overall score. I know a lot of people have been asking, hey, how am I going to get points?
How do I put my picks in, all that kind of stuff.
Still pick your top 5 like you would any other round. And so at the end of the night, based on the 3 races and the scores combined, you're going to still have a first, a second place, a third place, fourth, and fifth, and you're still going to get the same amount of points.
It's Olympic scoring to get an overall result, where if you take first in all 3 races, you'll have 3 points.
Yep.
Lowest score at the end of the night, the higher overall standing you'll have.
So
a lot similar to the Energy Cup.
Yeah, but the big difference is there's not going to be any heat races. So when the main events start for 250s and 450s, the first race is going to be main event number 1. They're going to call it main event number 1, 2, and 3. So no heat races, so just keep that in mind as well. So definitely look at qualifying times, and we'll talk about why here in just a little bit, because gate picks and starts are going to be crucial with this round.
What do you think? Are you excited or?
I am. I think it's going to be different. I think
I'm way excited.
I think it's going to allow other riders that maybe don't have that 20-minute stamina at this and can hold the pace that the lead guys do. I think those guys will do better because everyone can go all out for 8 minutes.
Well, what's the best part of Supercross? What's the one part that gets everybody excited is the starts, and now we just tripled it. So, and main events. I mean, the only drawback I can think of is no 450 LCQ, which seems to get wild.
They still have a 450 LCQ, but it's going to be before the night show starts.
That's right,
so it's not going to be on television.
It's not on TV, and
which is a bummer.
That's my favorite race to
watch. Watching the LCQ.
You never know what's going to happen. But
well, next up, speaking of Triple Crown formats, a lot of people are wondering, well, how's this going to change? What's it going to do as far as affecting riders? So who better than the 7 Deuce Deuce
for anything,
really,
right? And then live songs,
live race coaching, yeah, everything. So let's get him on. We call it Between Two Berms. Let's get Mr. Adam Enteknapp on the phone. All right, guys, we have got him on the phone. Our favorite,
fan favorite,
the 7 Deuce Deuce. Adam, what's up, man?
What up, boys? I just want to start out by saying that I did call the winner of last week's race, Jason Anderson.
Oh, I remember that.
I'm just saying, we have it on record, and I called it.
You did. All right, you called it.
Paying off.
I bumped him up to second place when I saw him qualifying first, but I thought Kenny had it, and I was 1 position off.
I wish you would have called Muskin crashing out, though. That would have been useful.
Helpful.
I can't quite do all that, but I think I could get a position a week.
All right, we can deal with that.
Well, Adam, this weekend it's the first Triple Crown race. Kind of curious, what do you and some of the other riders think about it?
I think this is an absolutely perfect change up in the season that we've needed for a long, long time. For all you RMFantasySXers, it is going to be one heck of a scramble up, though. Because the reason that I'm saying that is because, look, if you're a Cooper Webb or you're Josh Grant or, somewhere in that area where you're supposed to be doing a little bit better than you're doing right now, and it's the first couple rounds, you're seeing the light with this 8-minute main event.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, if you can get one good race under your belt and you can see that light, it can spark up a whole night. So this weekend, I don't even know what to say. I'm saying just go with the gut feeling, but I'm saying you're going to definitely see somebody new win that 8-minute main event or be in that top 3. I think eventually when we get to that 15-minute moto, you're going to see those same guys up top there, but watch for somebody new to come up this weekend and make some moves.
Well, speaking of new, who do you think needs to have a good night the most between like Cooper Webb, Josh Grant, Blake Baggett? Who do you think who needs to shine for Anaheim 2?
Okay, just by you saying Tickle, I forgot about Tickle, but you have to be thinking in the back of your mind, Anaheim won, Brock Tickle out front in the heat race and throws it away. We're back at Anaheim. He knows he has a good setup. He knows he got a good start here. You got to think Brock Tickle's going to be he's going to think he's in it for that weekend. So that's going to be one of those guys that's definitely going to be up there in that 8-minute moto. As far as picking one person specifically, I'm saying I'm going to go with Blake Baggett, just because Cooper Webb, I haven't really seen anything yet. I think maybe his wrist is still bugging him from that off-season crash that he had at that GP race. Something's going on there that I don't really know. I don't know the facts, but I think he's struggling a little bit with something because that's not the original Cooper Webb we've seen. But Blake Baggett, I heard in the offseason, he was absolutely ripping. I know he's looking for a good race. This is the time to do it right here at Anaheim 2 with this new format.
Right on, man. Well, that is good information. Hopefully our viewers can take that with them because it's going to be tough picking picks this weekend.
Yeah.
Real tough.
Absolutely. I don't know where I'm going to put – I think what I'm going to do is, like everybody, you got to watch time qualifying. You got to look for those guys. And another thing, I personally think Kenny's winning A2. And why I'm thinking Kenny's winning A2, first round, we've seen Kenny, a new Kenny. We've seen him kind of relax a little bit, take that fourth place, be happy with making it through Anaheim 1. This weekend, we've seen that new Kenny come out again where, he's in the main event, he's leading, somebody's catching him. I know he has the talent to win, and I know he wants to win, and he kind of settled in and took that second place like a man, and he's in that championship hunt. But why I think he's going to win A2, he came out to A1 and put the fastest lap time down, and he went to that main event thinking, I'm going to do the best I can and finish this race, and try to get a podium or a top 5. I think that was his mentality. Now we're 3 rounds in, and he looked good at A1. It's the same dirt. I know it's a little bit different layout, but Kenny's got to be thinking, okay, we're 3 rounds in, we're nice and comfy. If I get a start, we're going to push that edge just a little bit to see where we're at.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Well, hey, we appreciate that information.
Keep those mains rolling in, too.
Yes, sir.
That's
Keep
awesome.
locking them in.
Heck yeah, you know it.
All right, Adam, we appreciate the phone call, man. We wish you luck this weekend.
Heck yeah, thanks, boys. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, we'll see ya.
Bye.
That's good. That's good
That's
points.
good inside information right there.
I always think I have it locked down. My mind's going one way, and then you hear Adam, and he makes you think about things you weren't really thinking. So it's good info.
Well, you guys have heard it, so that's Between Two Burns with Adam Entiknap. Now, let's briefly cover the wild card, and then we got to lock them in.
All right, so we're heading into Anaheim 2, Triple Crown round. We got some riders that normally are, maybe wild card mixed in with spoilers because we don't know what this round's going to do. So
It's different.
just going off stats, we have a few riders to talk about for the spoilers this week.
Okay.
Justin Brayton, strong A1, qualified 7th, started 9th, finished 7th, so close to the top 5.
Okay.
Finishing 9 spots better on the West than last season on average already. So
And he's usually good at starts, too.
it's a new Brayton,
Okay.
a new day. Second, we got Blake Baggett. One thing to watch with him, I wanted to mention, he's finished exactly where he's qualified the first 2 rounds. So that looks like it's correlating about how much he likes the track, how well he's going to do. Brock Tickle, the 7 Deuce Deuce, shouting him out. Could easily get a top 5. He's
Came out leading the heat race in A1.
But he's taken 8th place in both races with starts of 17 and 9. So in my mind, it's like no matter where he starts, he's going to end up somewhere around 9th.
Okay.
Maybe a better wild card pick. And then Josh Grant, back-to-back 9th place finishes this year. So
I just feel like these guys have got to see this as their opportunity
yeah,
to have that breakthrough night.
I mean, we'd be talking wild card normally. With Triple Crown round, these guys could be spoilers as well. So
All right. And this week, we've got 9th place as the wild card. So with our wild card watch, it's hard because normally what guys that would be in 9th place wild card could also be your spoilers. For example, Tickle, he's got an 8th already.
he's
Grant,
finished 8th twice.
twice. Grant, 9th.
Twice.
Yeah, Baggett has an average score of 9.5. Jeremy Martin, 10.5. So there's a lot of guys that could be right there. So let's talk about it.
We crunched it all. I mean, it's just time to lock them in.
Let's lock them down real quick. For this week, I'm going with the 7 deuce deuce. Kenny, his starts are good. He's going to do it. After Kenny, I've got Anderson. Actually, Anderson's in third. My numbers laid right order. Barsha, hashtag Barsha Law.
Get the hashtag going. He's trying to set off Barsha Law if I see him on the podium again.
He is killing it in starts. If you look at his average starts, he's less than 2. He's crushing it. And then I've got Anderson in third. Okay, Anderson, I don't trust as much to get 3 good starts. But I remember a few years ago, Monster Cup, hole shot it 3 times in a row.
Well, I mean, average start this year, what, 1.5 and 5. So are you more surprised by that or Tomac having 1 point after 2 rounds?
I don't want to talk about that. Sore subject too soon. But Anderson could make me eat my words. But after that, I've got Cole Seeley coming in 4th place. Old trusty steed. And he's here to stay.
Going for 3 fifth places in a row.
3 fifths in a row. I think Pike is going to do it because Pike doesn't qualify all that well. But even when he qualifies poorly, you see him come out in the main events and just kill it.
He's just a beast. He doesn't care what gate pick he has, what qualifying. He doesn't care. He's going up to the top. So.
And then for my wild card this week, I think we have a repeat offender. I think Mr. Cooper Webb, you know what? I wish he would do better, but I think he's a good pick for a wild card this week.
9th place.
What do you got?
Okay. Well, let's start it off by getting rid of that.
He's out. Okay.
First place. I know it sounds crazy, and I had him there last week, but I'm putting Eli Tomac if he's back. I mean, it was promising he at least went out there. You know, if he would have not even tried, I would have been a little more worried.
So if Tomac lines up for the first main event, you think he's going to win the
I'm going for Tomac. I mean, he took the whole shot in A1. His starts are there, and now he's got to have new life, just knowing Moose can throw a round out. So
all right.
I'm leaving him in there, and I'm going off that stat of him. Whenever he finishes 8th or worse, he comes back and wins.
Speaking of Moose Cam, we haven't even talked about him.
It just didn't look good to me. I mean, he looked like he popped his shoulder out.
We don't even know if he's lining up yet, but
I have a higher chance of Tomac coming back than Mooskin.
Okay.
I mean, watch qualifying for sure. A lot of people took him out in time last week, which was awesome.
I did. Okay.
So I'm going with Tomac. I'm trying to start Barsha Law with you. Him in 2nd place.
Okay.
Jason Anderson, just too fast. Too fast these days. He's looking more like Mr. Anderson, Neo the One, right now from the Matrix. So I'm putting him back in 3rd place.
Okay.
I'm moving Rocks into 4th, where I think the KTM team's rubbed off on him, and he's dungeoning it a bit. Just stay clean. Don't push too hard.
I think Adam is mad at you right now.
Get a solid result.
And I mean,
late in the season, if you have to push harder, he might do that then. I don't know.
Okay, what do you guys think of these picks? So far, I'm not gelling with this.
And then I'm throwing... I'm picking Pike in 5th again. I'm with you. And my wild card, Blake Baggett.
Oh, we got Mr. Baggett.
I mean, Blake's, we all know better than that, but just the West Coast, he usually does twice as good on the East. So this year, on the West in the 2 rounds, average finish 9.5, average start 8.5, and average qualifying 9.5. He's just around 9th right now. So
now I am curious, and I don't know what you guys think out there. If Marvin Muscan lines up and he makes the night show, do you put him in your top 5? What do you do? I don't know. I don't know the severity of the shoulder injury. They haven't really announced yet, as far as what I've heard, if he's going to be lining up.
I mean, you could tell when Tomac was off. I mean, he was like 5 seconds slower than the slowest qualifier
or something.
In the A group. Yeah,
okay.
So I would go the same way with Muskin. If he goes out for qualifying, he's way back there, I'd be worried. Now, if he comes out there and throws down, a top 5 qualifying, which that's usually a good sign with him. I don't think he took the top 5 last year too many times when he qualified worse than 6th. So you're going to want to watch him there.
All right. Well, there we have it. Those are our locked-in picks. Now, remember, watch qualifying. Look at where everyone is because starts are going to be crucial this week.
1.5 average start, Barsha Law. Let's go.
But you got to remember, guys, that if somebody gets a poor starting gate position for the first main event, it's an 8-minute sprint. So they don't have a lot of time to make up positions. So say if Barsha doesn't qualify all that well and has, say, a 7th or 8th gate pick for main event number 1, it could throw him out of that top 5. So just keep that in mind.
And, these are the top 5 to 6 starters.
Yeah.
That's where we're going with our picks. It's Triple Crowns, 3 starts.
All right.
You want to favor the better starters, so that's our advice.
There you've seen it. And this week, as usual, we have some really good prizes to give away. So let's get it on with our prize recap.
All right, so like always, A2, we got 10 great weekly prizes. Starting out with the Bell Moto 9 Carbon Flex helmet, EVS Axis Sport knee braces, Pro Honda prize pack, prizes from Pirelli, ARC, Works Connection, Rhino Power, Acherbys, Scott Goggles, ASV, ODI, and of course 90 Rocky Mountain gift cards. So
there you
100
go.
chances to win.
A lot of great prizes. So make sure, guys, join us. Join the conversation. Comment below. Please tell us, what do you think about A2 with the Triple Crown format? Who is going to shine? What's going to happen with Tomac and Muskin? We want to know, and you will see Christian and I, we love to join that conversation. So comment below. And remember, guys, Fantasy Supercross, it is a blast.
Good times.
And best part is, it's absolutely free. So if you haven't yet, make sure, go to RMFantasySX.com, create an account. You can join Christian and mine's group. You can join the group with the 7 Deuce Deuce. It is a ton of fun. And like I said, free, tons of awesome prizes. You will not regret it. I am Chase.
I'm Christian.
We'll see you next week.